From aspiring entrepreneur to a real entrepreneur. 5 simple steps to come up with a business idea and an offer that you can sell. My name is Vincent Doppelschoten, and for the last 25 years I've worked in the global tech industry and I've built hundreds of offers for customers. This means that I create a value proposition with a price that customers are willing to pay for. The challenge most aspiring entrepreneurs have is that A, they don't know what they want, not precisely, and B, they don't know what to sell to customers. I have developed a 5-step process that will get you answers to both these questions. Over the next 15 minutes or so, I will explain these 5 steps in detail, and I'll provide you with a free workbook so that you can document your business idea so that you can achieve what you want in life and in business. All right, let's get into those 5 steps, shall we? So, first step, it's about you. Second step, it's about your dream life. Step number 3 is success maths. Step number 4 is your current spend. And step number 5 is coming up with your 20 reasons why. Okay, so as you can see, these topics are a little bit diverse, but it's typically all about you. Okay, so this exercise that we'll go through, and it may, all in all, take you a couple of hours to do, but it's really about going on a little bit of a self-discovery of what you want to achieve in life and what you can achieve, and how, and I'll show you that it's actually within reach more easily than you may think. Now, the reason why we're going through this exercise is that many people are fairly generic and vague in terms of what they want. Yeah, and ultimately, I want you to become a lot more specific. Yeah, so this business idea generator and this dream life that we're going to talk about in these steps. Yeah, I have it available. You can actually do this exercise in a workbook that I will make available. Click on the link below, where you can actually document all these things. Yeah, and the whole idea really is for again to help you, give you the tools to do this self-discovery and to get precise about it. Because the reason why I say that is because when you are vague, it's sort of non-specific. It doesn't help. It's not conducive, right, to what you want to do. So let's get started with the first step. Yeah, and I suggest you do these in order. You can do them differently as well, but I suggest you go do this in order. Yeah, and the first step is about you. And here in the about you step, I'm asking you to think about a number of questions about yourself. Yeah, the first question is, what do you spend most of your time on? Yeah, besides sleeping in your day job. Number 2 question is, what do you spend most of your money on outside of your mortgage, and your utility bills? The basic necessities. And then 3rd question is, what are you skilled at? Are you a tradesman? If you have learned a trade, what do you do in your current job? And kind of write those things down. So for all these questions, write down 3 answers that fit you. 4th question is, what is work but feels like play? What's the bit that you just can do and time passes like nothing else? Yeah, that's really the thing that I want you to document in this question. Question number 5 is, what do others think that you are good at? What are you known for? Yeah, and this may be very different than what you think. Ask your colleagues, ask your family, ask your parents, ask your cousins, ask your neighbors. You may be surprised about what other people think about you, and gives you a good perspective on things. And the last question is, what kind of newsletters, magazines, Facebook groups, and so on do you subscribe to, and websites do you subscribe to, and what are the top ones? So you've answered these 6 questions, and what I want you to do is, internalize this, reflect on the answers here, and come up with 3 things, 3 topics, 3 subjects, that are really your thing. It's just listed in a few simple words. For me, it's I'm a business coach and entrepreneur. So for me, business and entrepreneurship is high on that list. Yeah, and I help people with creating tools to improve their business strategy as well. So that's high on my list. Now, to help you with this exercise, I'm providing you with some tools. On the one hand, what do you spend your time on? In the workbook, actually, there's actually a link to a tool like a page, a template. You can print it out, and it will actually tell you, or you can actually document what you spend your time on. And instructions included in it as well on how to do that. Now, the second thing is that if you want to know where you're currently spending your money on, that's step 4. So we'll get into that as well, but you can go there as well in a moment. Now that's really about step 1. Step 2 is about thinking about your dream life and what it would be like if money and time was on your side. You didn't have any money problems. You have all the money in the world. What would your dream life look like? Is it having a family? If you don't have one today, is it having multiple holidays? Is it just having one continuous holiday and living as a nomad, digital nomad, or is it that new car that you always wanted? It's different for everyone, but I'd like you to think about what that would be for you. Now, a couple of pointers. You can look. And the way you approach these things, it's obviously quite diverse, but you can there's a couple of areas you want you to look at. One is your physical health. What are what's your dream life, your dream situation there? Financially, what do you want to achieve? What's your dream life from that perspective? How much money do you earn? When do you pay off the mortgage and things like that, right? And money is really just money. Money is really an enabler to do things, to buy things, to do things, to be things. So, I like for example, Volvo XC90. That's and my wife wants an electric car. So that's part of my financial picture. So I want to know what that's gonna require from you, and then. Vocational is another element to look at. What's your job? What do you love doing? What do you like doing? Going back to the previous point, maybe spiritually, what do you want to do with your life in your dream life? Are you very spiritual or not? I'm not overly spiritual myself, but I do meditate on a daily basis. What's the social aspects? Family. What your family to be like, and and how you help your children, for example, with their education or things like that. So try and be and even the relationship you have with your partner, right? And lastly is the fun part. So what are the fun things you want to do in your dream life? How many holidays do you want? I always do the 3 holidays a year: a sun holiday, a ski holiday, and a experience holiday, like going on the safari, for example. But you can be as wild as you choose to be, right? Now, this exercise, I'd like you to spend 20 to 30 minutes just writing it down. You can print off the sheet if you want and write it by hand, or write it in the workbook itself. It's entirely up to you, but get all your thoughts down on paper in as much detail as possible, right? So the more detail you have, the more it becomes sort of forefront of your mind. And with detail, I mean, if you go on your luxury holiday, then to the Bahamas, then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go to the Bahamas, flyweight version on business class seats, and I want to have a window seat. When you want to get that kind of specific, in your descriptions. So that's really step number 2. Step number 3 is, and again, the workbook will help you with all this. I want you to now translate your dream life into 3 categories, and write those things down in 3 categories: the things that you want to have, the things that you want to be, and the things you want to be doing. So And then really when you, for each of those things, you can list them down and you come up with a cost for each of those things. So if you want to have a $1 million house or £1 million house, how much is that costing you, a month if you have a mortgage? So we're not talking about that you need to earn $1 million or £1 million first before you can have $1 million or £1 million house. I want you to think about what it would cost you if you want to get a mortgage, for example. So, and in order to help you with the calculation, I've included a mortgage calculator. It's a quick calculator in the workbook as well. So include that, add some of the fields, and you will automatically calculate how much it will cost, and you'll be surprised. You don't need £1 million to buy a £1 million house. So that's on the having section, if you will. The next element is around the being. So who do you want to be? If you want to be an online entrepreneur or digital nomad or whatever you choose to be, then what do you need to do in order to achieve that? And what does it cost you to do that? And there's two types of costs. There's monthly costs and one-off costs. And write those things down. And in the doing, if you want to go on holiday, how much does that cost? It's 3 times a year with the family, it will cost you $20,000 or £20,000, and that's a one-off expense. You can kind of document these things, and you can list all the things that you want to be doing, and figure out and come up with estimate of how much that will cost. So the whole idea of step 3 is to really translate your dream life into, okay, what does it really cost? Then we go to step number 4. And step number 4 is all about your current spend. So how much, in order to kind of know where you need to get to, you need to know where you are today in terms of current spend. So what do you spend on loans and mortgages and taxes? What do you spend on utilities? I want you to really take the last 3 months of your bank statements and credit card statements and kind of distill down what you spend your money on. So it's the monthly expense that you just spend there, or it's the one-off expense, or maybe an annual expense. Maybe you have a one-time, like a service once a year on your car, and you spend 400 quid on it. Then you put it into the annual or one-off column. But for all these expenses, I do want you to think about if they are included in your dream life expenses, if you will, on the previous step. But the workbook will show you exactly how to do that. So that's really step number 4. Step number 5 is to really think about and get clear as to why you must succeed in your entrepreneurial journey, right? If your goal is to earn $10,000 a month or £20,000 a month or whatever it is, what drives you? What are the reasons? And is it like, do you want to enable your children to go to university without them actually having debts at the end of it? Or does it help you support your 4 holidays a year, that will leave you with lasting memories? So tap into your dream life. So what all the reasons why. So write down 20 of those reasons. All the things you can do, you can be, you can have, for when you achieve the goal that you set yourself. Then I also want you to write 20 things that won't happen if you don't achieve what you're going to achieve. So you have less time spent with the family if you don't achieve this. You're going to go on 1 holiday a year, for example, instead of 3 or 4 or 5. Another thing that I personally think about is that if I'm not successful, then my children will leave university and have a big debt, and I don't want that for them. So I really want to take it away from them. Then that's a big motivator, right? So write down 20 of each of those, 20 reasons why, and 20 reasons what if not. And ideally your top 3 are at the top in the first 3 in each of those columns, and that's it, right? you're done basically with the exercise. You've done steps 1 through 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you basically have done a lot of reflection, a lot of thinking, and that should give you a lot of energy and motivation to do it. Now, if you don't know what kind of business you can be, right? The workbook actually helps you with this. It gives you sort of the notion that you become sort of a coach, maybe a mentor or an educator. Starting an online business is actually relatively straightforward. You can start with relatively small investment, and you can do this in your top 3 things that the people that are your thing, right? So we'll summarize that into the master plan, and then we want to reiterate why it's so important to have this master plan in the first place. The reasons why and the reasons what if not, and then we're going to get very clear when you include in the steps 3 and 4 all those numbers, how much it will cost to support your dream life and your current spend. It's really good to understand, what does it really mean? What does it net out to? And you will be surprised that it's actually, your dream life is not as costly as you may think. You don't need to earn £1 million a month or $1 million a month to support your dream life. It's probably tens of thousands of dollars or pounds is probably more than enough. And that's so much achievable. So with the output, there's also some links to extra tools that I'm providing, and you can schedule a call with me as well if you want to talk about your output, about the work that you've done. So that's really in terms of the 5 steps. Just to reiterate and summarize, the 5 steps are: it's about you. So let's talk about you first. Then your dream life. Then translate your dream life into numbers. So how much does it cost? This is what I refer to as success maths. 4 is the current spend. What is your current spend? So you can kind of paint a picture from where you are today to where you need to get to. And then the 20 reasons why as step number 5. So it probably takes you a few hours or so to do this exercise, but it's so worth it because you'll be so surprised of the things you learn about yourself. And even if you do it together with your partner, it's even better, right? You can kind of bounce things off each other and get much more depth built into this exercise. So the workbook that I'm referring to is available for free, and when you download it, I will also make a detailed instruction video available as well. It's about half an hour or so. Simply click on the link below and get it. So thank you so much and good luck. I really love to see your entrepreneurial dreams come true, and if I can help you with this, then fantastic. Take care.